Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Kevin, I'm a geek, you're watching Kevin the Geek, and I have done so far the entirety of the first series of Death in Paradise, and I released it on a weekly basis. But today I am doing it slightly differently, and I am doing it in basically one single video, and so you will find all 8 episodes are currently available to watch. You can check them out all out in the pinned comment down below or the video description. You'll see all 8 of those episodes there. And then in a moment I'm actually you're going to see me change, because I'm recording this pre-watching, and then after I watch all 8 episodes I will do a review of the series as a whole here on this video as well. So stay tuned, I'll be back shortly.
8 hours later.
Okay, so if you're now seeing this part of the video, it basically means that, well, hopefully you have gone and seen all of my reactions to the second series of Death in Paradise, and I have now completed them over probably a couple of days. I was probably watching about 2 episodes a day to get my way through it, so 4 or 5 days to get through the series. And I have to say, overall, I love Death in Paradise, and people have said that it is a bit formulaic, it's a bit repetitive, it's a bit unbelievable, but for me that's exactly what I want from this show. I've done so far the first 2 series of this show, Death in Paradise, and I've also done it to Line of Duty. You can see all my reactions to those of Line of Duty as well. And ultimately, they are 2 entirely different shows. Obviously, on the one hand, Line of Duty, it is one story spread out over the 5-6 episodes of the series, whereas this, it is 8 episodes of series that are self-contained. They are their own individual story, but have certain overarching elements to them. Mostly it is the nature of the relationship between the main gang, with Richard Poole, with Camille, with Fidel, with Dwayne, with the Commissioner, with Catherine even. And you know what? Part of the reason I think I love this show is its sense of escapism. It is. I'm watching this particular series in February, in a very, very cold month. It is rainy, it is chilly, and unlike Richard, I want sunshine. I want to experience nature and the outdoors and experience new things. So there is something very humorous that I am able to enjoy every time I watch an episode. It is just that sense of fun, while at the same time being a show that, in my opinion, I think it is very, very well written. Each of the stories, they're written really, really well in a way that it is that they're able to drip feed the answers to you, and you don't necessarily feel stupid if you don't manage to guess who did it, how they did it, why they did it. But also, if you do manage to figure it out, you do feel that sense of accomplishment when you manage to work it out. And there's been a couple of occasions I've managed to work out the murderer and the how, but a lot of times it's the whys that I've always fallen short of. Now, there are 2 stories which I felt, if you were going to say that they were kind of repetitive, it was the one where they strangled the woman in the wheelchair. Yeah, that bloke from the UK who Richard didn't like, who the one who kept calling Richard Dick. And I kind of said it at the end of that reaction that it did give me similar vibes to the 3rd episode of the first series, which is the one story that I really remember from that first series. And I think the reason that those 2 are kind of familiar is because you have a character that you really do not like, Richard doesn't like, you as an audience do not like. You are convinced that they are going to turn out to be the murderer. They turn out not to have been the murderer, but they have actually committed a murder in the past, and they get caught out through their own ineptitude and through the brilliance of the detective nature of Richard and his team. Now, if you talk about the formulaic aspect of the show as a general, yes, you could argue that at a very basic kind of core level, there is a bit of repetition in each episode. You have a murder, you have the team trying to solve it, they get flabbergasted. By the end of the episode, there'll be a light bulb moment. Someone will probably say the most innocuous comment that triggers it for Richard, and he manages to work out who, why, and how the murderer was committed. Does that detract from it? In my opinion, no, it doesn't. I think that this series took everything that was good of the first series and elevated it. And I said it so many times in the reactions that for me, what I loved in this series is that they went down a much more emotional route. They went down much more of a route of trying to show personal development, personal growth. And Richard is the biggest example of that. He came into this show being the most grumpy and closed-minded person you could ever hope to meet. And by the end, of this series, you are convinced that he was going to stay in London and that was going to be it of his time on the show. He's never going to come back again. We're not going to see him anymore in the other, 11 or so series that there currently are of this show. I don't know if he leaves the show at any point. He may do, he may not do. But ultimately, right now, he has accepted his life in the island. He has come back. He has accepted his team and he's committed to his life in the shack with the cheese growing through it. He's even named the wild lizard that keeps coming to his house. That's what shows what kind of growth he's been on. And I am absolutely in love with this show. I am going to do more of it in the future. I don't know exactly when, because at the moment, the way that I'm thinking that I am going to do Line of Duty and Death in Paradise will be by basically doing it a series at a time. With Line of Duty, at the time of me speaking, there is only 6 series, and it is believed that there won't be any more. That may change. We may get another one in the future. Obviously, at the moment, I'm only up to the end of Series 2, so no spoilers, and we will see what happens with that. Next month, I know I'm not going to do either of them 2 shows. I know I am going to do, or at least attempt to do, the reaction to classic Doctor Who, the 2nd serial, because I did the first ever serial as part of the Doctor Who 60th anniversary last year. So I'd like to do the 2nd serial, which was the first one which featured the Daleks. So that is a big enough reason in of itself to watch that one. And then I need to do another series of Taskmaster, because I was doing that on a weekly basis, and then we did the New Year's, the first Champion of Champions edition, and it's been a little while, so I'll need to get back to doing that. Plus, there are going to be 2 movie reactions in March as well, and so basically when I do a series reaction to release all in one video, that takes up a lot of time to do all of those. Doing a movie reaction, because I do the condensed cut version and the full-length version, it takes a while to do the editing for those, so that takes up time. And like I said, I'm doing 2 of them. One of those is the community choice video, which at the time of me speaking, throughout all of February, you can make your vote on it. So check out the community tab on the channel and you can place your vote for which movie you would like me to react to. The choices, if I can remember correctly, I think we've got Indiana Jones, we've got Back to the Future, Lethal Weapon, Gladiator, and one more. I can't remember what the other one is off the top of my head. But yeah, there's 5 of them. The other movie that I'll be doing is at the end of the month, which will be on Good Friday for the Easter weekend. That one I will leave as a surprise until the day. But that one is a British comedy movie. Has some kind of a link to Easter, I believe. So that will be why I'll be doing that one. But that's the only clues I'll be giving you for that particular movie that I'll be doing. So yeah, overall, I love this series. I love everything that they did with it. Yes, if I have to be really nitpicky, there are some stuff in it that I wasn't particularly fond of. But overall, I really did enjoy this, and I hope you have watched all of my episodes and all of my reactions to this one. And I will look forward to seeing you join me again very, very soon. But for now, that's going to round up this review of Series 2. Thank you for joining me. For now, my name's Kevin. I'm a geek, and you've been watching Kevin the Geek. Goodbye.